think that you should start on a 600? I'll put it like this. I started riding a motorcycle on a 200, but my first motorcycle that I purchased was a 600. Just like that. So, do I suggest you should start on a 200, 250, or a 300, a beginner motorcycle? Yes. I personally had never ridden a motorcycle before I took the motorcycle safety course. So when I took that thing, that was my first time throwing a leg over a motorcycle, and it was a 200, and it was everything that I needed. It was not intimidating at all. Mind you, it wasn't even a Ninja 250. It was something like a Yamaha Dual Sport 200. So it didn't have really any power to put on the street. It was just enough to get up and go, and so it was not intimidating. It was fun to ride, and yeah, I got very comfortable on it. 2 days of riding on the course, and then a day after that, or 2 days after that, I went and I purchased my first motorcycle, and it was a Ninja 650. Granted, it wasn't a 600 Super Sport, you know, an inline 4-cylinder 600cc motorcycle. It was a parallel twin 650 detuned motorcycle, something for the street. Not super fast, but it did have speed, it did have power, and that was perfect for me. It has everything you need if you want to commute, and even if you're buying it as a weekend toy, you know what I mean? It's going to be your first bike that you want to get. That's perfect to start on. I think it's perfect to start on because it's not too much and it's not too little. It's not too much and it's not too little. It's just right. Goldilocks. But yeah, so it had just enough power so I could have fun on it. I would go riding with my friends who had 600s, and I didn't feel like I was slighted in any way when it came to power, because I was able to keep up with them. Even though I could do tops like 125, 130, and they were doing like 150, we barely ever got up to that speed. And they weren't leaving me in the dust. I would still be able to see them. I'd still be able to keep up with them. If I was on a 250 or a 300, they'd be gone and I'd be left in the dust. So when money is an issue, and having one motorcycle in your garage is all that you can have, financially speaking, I say start off with what your heart is gonna be content with. And if you know that that's not gonna be a 300, you know, if you get into riding, and so if you have it set in your mind that you're like, you know what, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use it for commuting, maybe take it out on the weekends and have some fun riding around with the buddies in the canyons, but I'm not really gonna, you know, floor it. I'm not gonna be floored in a motorcycle. I'm not going to be pinning it all the time, doing 100 and whatever. That's not what does it for me. If that's you, then I would say go with a 300. But I would say buy it used. I wouldn't buy it brand new. 300s are not going to be beaten up when you buy them used. You can usually find most 300s well taken care of, because you can't really wheelie 200s and 300s without really putting a lot of effort into it. So yeah, I would say go with a 2 or 300. Go with a beginner bike if that's all you're into. You know, you're not worried about, you know, going fast or anything like that, and you're serious about it. You're not just saying that to justify your purchase, but you really are. You know, you're not gonna use any of the speed that a 600 would give you. Now if you do want a little bit of performance, but you're not looking to go that hard, but you do want some performance. You do want a bike that can get up and go, you know, get you out of a situation pretty fast, and you could break 100 easily. You know what I mean? You could hit triple digits easily. Yeah, I would say go with a 650, something like a Ninja 650, or something like the SV650 by Suzuki. I personally don't know the specs for a Honda 500, a Honda CBR 500, but I know it's better than a 300, so, you know, maybe even one of those. But I do know that the SV650 and the Ninja 650 both outperform the CBR 500. So if I was going to go with something that has a little bit of performance, yeah, I'd go for one of those. But I like to hit the canyons. I like to hit the canyons and enjoy the performance of a motorcycle. For me, a motorcycle has to be all about performance, first and foremost, and then the cruising, you know, comes second to me. So that's why I got a Super Sport 600. I like to take it into the canyons. I like to hit the corners. Please don't tell me I left my backpack open. Please don't tell me I left my backpack open. Please don't tell me I left my backpack open. No, it looks closed. Somebody was doing something on the highway, making it look like they were waving their hand out the window, but they weren't saying hi. And I was wondering, maybe I left my backpack open. I've done that before. I accidentally left the house with the big zipper open. I had some nice mechanics wear gloves. You know, they cost me like $30. They're nice leather ones, and I went full tuck and some nice speeds on the highway, and bam, they're gone when I got to where I was going. All closed. So I don't know what's up. Everything is good back there. Okay, let's just put some gas. Here we go. Gasoline. Come on. It's $6. So yeah, those are my thoughts on beginner bikes. Should you get a beginner bike? Should you start on a beginner bike? Yes, absolutely. Should you buy a beginner bike? Nah. The value drops a lot after you buy it. Nobody's looking to buy a beginner motorcycle for that much money. They're hard to get out of, and that's why I would say go for what, you know, what's going to make you content. Go for what you're going to be content with. Most people are not content with, you know, a beginner bike, a 250 or a 300. They start with them, they enjoy them for a little while, and then they get rid of them.